The side effect that I was completely dreading and now experiencing. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Enid Sabel. I share beauty, lifestyle, and faith, as well as my GLP-1 journey. I have lost 35 pounds on Zepbound, and now I am in my maintenance stage. And what that means is that I am doing all the things to try to maintain my weight, and also I'm doing body recomp. So not only I'm maintaining my weight, but I am shaping my body to how I want it to look. So today I'm going to be covering, as per usual, side effects, measurements, and weight. However, I will be more focused on talking about the side effect that I have been experiencing. Last week, I had told you that I have been monitoring this for the last few weeks, and now I am ready to talk about it. It is something that I have been dreading. Because I was diagnosed with chronic alopecia a few years back, I always dread about losing my hair. Now, normally, I lose hair when I am stressed, and I've lost hair in forms of like bald patches, which is alopecia areata. Now, I haven't experienced bald patches in a very long time. In fact, I think the last time I experienced a bald patch was in possibly 2021 or 2022. And since then, since my hair has grown, I have been growing out my hair to the point that it's pretty long, as you can see. And I've even cut it a few times. My hair has even gone down to here. But the reason I've grown my hair is because I haven't had any bald patches. When I used to have the bald patches, I used to keep my hair short. I might be showing you some images while I speak through this just to kind of give you visuals. I have been asked this question over and over. Have you experienced any hair loss being on a GLP-1? And even a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, I had a subscriber actually reach out to me directly to ask me about hair loss. And I told her wholeheartedly and truthfully, no, I haven't, thankfully, haven't had any hair loss. Well, here we are, 11 weeks into my maintenance journey. I've been on Zepbound since July 31st, 2025. I am approaching the year. We're about to go into June. So in July will be a whole year since I've been on GLP-1. So I guess if you think about it, I have pretty much been on GLP-1 for 10 months. Now that I'm just kind of doing the math in my head, it's been approximately 10 months. And now I am starting to experience hair loss. This is rough for me because, again, alopecia, right? What I can say is the silver lining is that I have not experienced any bald patches. And trust me, I've been checking constantly that my husband sees me like ever so often going like this to myself. And I'll go like this and I'm like running my hair, my hands through my head just to feel if I'm getting any bald spots. I even had my son record for me. I'll probably put the clips in here because I kept on going, can you check? Can you check? And I'll run my fingers through my head. I'm very like traumatized by hair loss. Like I've been experiencing this since I was 19 years old. And when I was 19, I had lost hair, not only like here in my scalp, but I had even lost eyebrow hair to the point that I went to a dermatologist, and that's usually my go-to. I would go to a dermatologist when I lose hair in patches or whatever, and they give me the cortisone shots. So when it was happening in my eyebrows, like usually I'll get cortisone shots and it's in my head, wherever the bald patch is. But when it was my eyebrows, they injected it in my upper thigh. So I've been experiencing this for a very long time, thankfully. And you know, I say thankfully, my hair does grow back, right? I haven't had an instance where the hair has not grown back. It always grows back. So for the last few weeks, I've been literally like washing hair and it's coming out in chunks and it's coming out in chunks. And I comb through it and more hair is coming out. I dry it, more hair is coming out. I see like balls of hair on my floor. When I finish blow drying my hair, I have to vacuum it. And I'm telling you, like clumps like this in a ball. That's hard. And all the while I feel my hair just thinning, like to the point where my ponytail is like this. And it's hard to go through this because, you know, again, as a woman, you're just like, how much more hair can I possibly lose? Because I washed my hair last week. So when I told you I was going to monitor it and track it, I recorded washing my hair so you can see what I was doing. I also recorded the steps on what I'm doing to help my hair look fuller and to make it look thicker. So I'm not sure if I'm going to incorporate that into this video. I might do a separate video because this will make the video very, very long. So I might just do that as a separate video. I could probably touch on some of the products that I've been using in this video. But anyway, I recorded how much hair came out. And I'm telling you, it was so much that you would wonder, how is it that I'm not bald? What I am noticing is that the spacing in my hairline is a lot wider. I can see it here in the front, especially. And that's where they basically did my biopsy. When they did it years ago, they did it right here. They like took like a little piece of like the scalp out, and they obviously had to numb it to get the piece out. And that's how they did my biopsy and came out with the diagnosis of chronic alopecia. And so, I do notice that when I am thinning, you can see it here. Like I can go through here and I can see thinner strips of hair here, right? Whereas here, it's a little bit thicker. So I've been monitoring it, and it's like something that I've been hesitant to talk on because I was like, maybe it's shedding season. Maybe this is just like a phase. But the more I'm realizing it, it's just like, no, this is really not a phase. This is happening. And I knew that this could be a side effect of my GLP-1. And that's where we are today. This is clearly from the shot. I know when I'm losing hair due to stress. Am I stressed? Maybe, but not as much as like I've gone through really hard stress. And you would think that when I went through my burnout in December, that I would have maybe gone bald. I didn't. So, like this is not stress related. When it's stress related, I will lose to the point where there's a bald patch. So this is the shot. I know it's the shot. I'm not really questioning it. So now it's more of what am I doing to maybe not prevent it, but maybe lessen how much comes out? What can I do? Like, what can I intake for myself to like start growing my hair? Now I do take a multivitamin. I started using other products for my hair as well. So I'm going to be displaying that maybe a little bit towards the end of the video because I do want to get through the weigh-in and then talk about the process of the hair and what I'm doing to keep it. But I did want to share about the hair loss because that is a side effect that I am experiencing possibly for the last month. And now in terms of this past week, like specifically, I have not had real nausea. I've had very slight nausea, I should say, but nothing else that really just kind of stands out. I've been okay. It was a very hot week. So this week in and of itself, like we had like a heat wave and it was like 90 degrees, 95 degrees. And I did have a lot of inflammation, but also I have lymphedema in my left foot. So all of that. And I imagine the weight gain is due to inflammation, and also to boot, I am entering my PMSing week. So we have all these wonderful things happening at once, and let's praise Jesus because we got to praise him in the storm. So that's where I am right now in terms of side effects. That is my huge one. I'm going to talk a little bit later more about what I'm doing with my hair because as you can see, I washed my hair today. And I did my best to style it and make it look fuller. So I'm trying, guys. I am trying. But for the most part, the last two videos that you guys have seen, I've had my hair in a ponytail. And so I'm just trying to not mess with my hair as much and not wash it as much. Not because of the hair loss, but I'm also trying not to strip the oils. So I am actually looking into a whole new hair routine. So bear with me because I'll share that with you as well. But I have started somewhat of a new hair routine. Again, we'll show. But let's get into the weigh-in. All right, let's not do this Debbie Downing thing because there's going to be, I don't want this to be a sad video. I want this to be informative, and I take you guys through my experience, what I've been experiencing in this past year of being on Zepbound. I don't want this to be negative. I just want you to be informed and know that if you're going through this, you are not alone. So let's not be sad. We have other things to look forward to, and this is not going to be the end all be all. This is not it. So let's get into the weigh-in. I'm sorry I'm babbling. Let's jump into it. Here we go. All right, guys. So as you can see, let's go into the comparison report. I have put on a couple of pounds this week, and let's see where they are coming from. I, for one, I'm not shocked at the weight gain. Like I said, I am PMSing. I already know to expect it. Water retention, the heat has been killer this week. So retaining a lot of water. My feet have been tingling almost every single day this week, except for today. Today, the temperature is cooler. It's in its 50s. So the swelling is not as bad. But listen, it was a rough week. There was a lot of tingling in my foot. Let's go into this comparison report. I will also show you here the segmental fat mass and the segmental muscle mass so you can see where everything is placed. Last week I took you section by section, but I'm just going to place it here so you guys can see it. And I am going to jump into the comparison report. Now, I last weighed myself last week on 5/14 at 8:59:44 a.m. We did notice that time matters, so there you have it. I weighed in last week at 148.8 pounds, and this week I am weighing in at 150.6 pounds, and I weighed myself at 8:45 a.m. in the morning. So more or less the same. I was actually really hungry today, so I was just like, let me get this in immediately so I can eat something. So I've gained 1.8 pounds. Let's see where this weight gain has come from. It says my BMI went up by 0.3, but the body fat percentage, this is always so interesting, went down by 1.9%. The body fat mass went down by 2.2 pounds, and the muscle percentage, apparently this 1.8 pounds came in at muscle. So muscle percentage has gone up. Muscle mass, 4 pounds, has gone up. Let's go into the body water percentage has gone up 1.4%, and the body water mass is 3 pounds. The subcutaneous fat, look at how interesting this is. In the green, 25.4%, minus 1.3%. I think this is the first time I've actually seen it jump into the green. I have to look at the history of my reports. I've never seen this section in the green, and the visceral fat went down also by 1. So what does that tell me? That not all weight gain is bad. This seems to be good, and I am not complaining. I know what week I'm in too. You know what I mean? Like, I know about the heat, I know about my PMS. I know that, I have been intaking a lot of foods that are protein. So if you guys saw my video last week, I told you about me partnering with Nourish, but now I have this dietitian that I've been working with, and she's absolutely fabulous. I literally call her the Miss Rachel of dietitians because that's how she talks to me. And she is such a ray of sunshine. She's adorable. Her name is Stacy. If she's ever watching this, shout out to you, Stacy. Like, you're awesome. You rock. But she's been helping me, and we are really trying to focus on the foods that I eat, what I'm taking. So we had another call yesterday, and she's just teaching me how to design my plate and how to eat better, like have better food choices when I am going into a week like this where I'm about to get my period and I'm starting to feel ravenous and I want to eat chocolate and cakes and all that stuff. So she's teaching me about that. And she was just like, I love this advice, which we're going to have a separate conversation about what me and her talked about. But yesterday specifically, she told me, she said, I want you to think about when you're about to grab something to eat. How are you feeling in that moment? Are you eating because you are hungry, like you feel hungry? Or are you eating because you're anxious? Are you eating because you're bored? So she wants me to stop and think. I thought that was such great advice. And this morning, she wants me to have my protein in the morning with some fiber. So I did my eggs with, what did I do? Eggs with cottage cheese. And I did some veggies that I did that I roasted in the air fryer. So when I was eating it, maybe like an hour later, I'm like, feel hungry. And I wanted something kind of sweet. So I thought about what she said. I went into the fridge, I grabbed myself a protein yogurt, and what I did was I added some raspberries, I added some granola, and a few morsels of chocolate to satisfy that craving that I was having for sweets. And all in all, still healthy and not going overboard eating something completely like off the charts that I'm not supposed to be eating. So I love that I have that voice in the back of my head and that me and her are having conversations and designing meals and talking about the foods that I want to buy. So again, I will leave it. This video is not sponsored, but I will leave it in the description box below in case you guys are interested in booking a dietitian. I think that she is absolutely incredible. And I just love that I have this guidance right now. All right. So that is the comparison report. That is my weigh-in. I will put up here my measurements so that you can see it. And now I will jump into what's next, right? So right now I actually have a doctor's appointment with a new doctor. So I told you guys a few months back that my doctor had left the practice and she left back in March. And I am like devastated because I've had her for like about 12 years. And here we are. I am trying a new provider because now I need a prescription refill and she won't refill my Zepbound prescription without seeing her. So I am trying a new doctor today. I will probably have an accurate read also on the weight. So if anything changes, I will share it here as well. And that's about it. I am going to go back still on the 2.5. I think 2.5 is working for me. You guys might see the scale go up and maybe think, oh, like, you know, you had lost so much weight and you're to the 150s. 150 was my first goal in the first place. I like my body here. I just need a little bit more refining with the toning. I always said that if it creeps up a lot and it's mainly like fat, then yes, I would consider doing the 5 milligrams. But right now, 2.5 is working. I have not gotten in a workout this week or last week for that matter. Last week, I actually wasn't feeling great. I had like this pain in my back. I know these last 2 weeks of May is going to be a lot because I have a lot going on before I even leave to my trip to Spain. So there's just so much going on. And I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but God is good. God is great. And we're just going to take it a day at a time. So that's all I can do. That's all I am doing. If I get the workout in, I will get it in. But I've practically been to the point of exhaustion. And by the time the night comes, I'm done doing what I'm doing. Like I've been helping my son and his friends with the project. I don't think I told you that my son and his two classmates, when we went to competition last month in April, they won second place and they are moving on to the national competition. They are representing New York State for National History Day. And I am so thrilled for them. So we are very proud and excited. So I am helping and guiding them as well as their teacher so that they can prepare for next month's competition. In June, we are going to be going to Maryland. So that is exciting for them. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to be away for almost 3 weeks, like literally almost back to back. So we're going to be navigating that schedule, navigating how I'm going to do the content. But I have so much to do before I leave that it's just been like literally back to back to back. And it's not even like about time to work out. Yes, a little bit, but it's also like I am so tired that even pushing myself, I'm getting to bed and I just want to hit the pillow and knock out. I'm probably out within 2 minutes of my head hitting the pillow. That's how tired I am. So that's going on. Now, I will inform you about what the doctor is going to say to me today because I am going to bring up the hair concern. I feel like with this hair, and now we're going to go back into hair, I've been losing the hair, but again, no bald spots. But aside from that, like I feel like the hair even feels a little bit more brittle, if that makes any sense. And for the most part, I use my Dyson for all of my styling needs and occasionally a hair curler. But in all the years that I've been using Dyson, which has pretty much been maybe the last 5 or 6 years, I've never felt my hair feel this dry. So I don't know if that's also part of the GLP-1. But I will talk to her about that. So the products that I've been using this Verb Density shampoo and serum. And I discovered this a few weeks back when I went to Ulta for the sale. course, this wasn't on sale, but I got this, and my mom, as part of one of my Mother's Day gifts, I think she got me this, and I got the shampoo. So I will link it down below. What I do find is that the shampoo is super like lathery. You feel it thick. I've never felt a shampoo be this thick. You feel it thick. And when you wash, you feel like how thick it is, but it lathers really well. Then I go in with my volume shampoo for Verb, and I've been using that for many, many years. I love the volume line. And now what I'm doing is I'll use the shampoo, the density shampoo, the I'll use the Verb volume conditioner, and then I'll go in with the density peptide serum, the volume hairspray, and a heat protector by Verb as well. And that's how I do my hair. Again, I can take you through a routine on a separate video because it is extensive. But I feel like that's what's making my hair look and feel thick, because you could even see here, it feels a little thicker than if I wasn't using the products, because literally my ponytail feels like this thin when I do not use these products. So today is the second day that I'm using the density shampoo and the peptide serum. And what I noticed is the first time I used it last week, my hair was coming out, and I have the clips here. And then today, when I washed my hair, it wasn't as much, but I'm still losing hair. Like if I go like this, like I'm literally still pulling out hair, and I was eating breakfast and I go like this, and another chunk, even after my hair was dry, another chunk came out, and I'm like, oh my God. It does help stop the shedding. And I do feel like that is true, because I did see less shed than I have in the last few weeks. But I am trying all the things. I am upping my collagen. I have to be more consistent with it. So I started taking the collagen again. I use the Orgain one, and I put it in my coffee, mix it up. So I am trying to do that. That's also great to support hair, skin, nails, gut health. So I'm using that, and my multivitamins by Ollie. So I use the women's multivitamins. I'm going to see what else I can incorporate just to kind of promote the growth and all of those things. So bear with me on this now hair journey to regrow some hair and keep it. But I would say if you are experiencing any kind of hair loss, look into things that could at least make your hair feel fuller. If you are experiencing any kind of hair loss, please drop it in the comments. I mean, we have a whole community here that we want to know that we are not alone in this. So when you guys interact and you comment about your experience, it's helpful to others, including myself. So here we are. I'm just sharing with you what right now I am using, and I am trying not to freak out, because like I said, this is something that hits home for me, and it's something that I've been struggling with since the age of 19. I am 44. So I've spent more than half of my life with this now, and it's not a great place to be in, but it's also not the worst thing in the world, and I know that I can regrow it. So that's where I am right now. I actually have a hair appointment next week before my trip, and I am considering, guys, you tell me, I'm considering maybe like cutting off like this much, maybe bringing it to here. I also feel like when your hair is not weighing down, it's a little bit better, and it makes your hair feel thicker and it looks healthier. So we'll see what happens. I always say maybe I might cut it, and then I chicken out and I'm like, no, I don't want to cut it. I don't want to lose my hair, but I'm going to be trying all the deep conditioners and things to nourish my hair as well, and I will share it with you here on this channel. Hey guys, so I just wanted to jump on here and talk to you a little bit about my doctor's appointment and what I found out. I met with a new provider today. I spoke to her about what I've been doing for the last year. So she's starting to get to know patients. This is, brand new for me, brand new for her. So she's like reading through my chart, reading through all of the things that I have. She was just like, oh, and you have lymphedema? Yes. Oh, and you had a heart condition when you were 2? Yes. Oh, and you have it? I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So specifically talking about the weight managing aspect, talked about me being on Zepbound since July of last year. We then started to talk about the hair loss, and I told her, I said, listen, like lately I've just been losing chunks of hair. I showed her the video and she was like, oh wow, that's a lot of hair. I know. So she told me something that was very interesting. And she said, well, hair loss doesn't just happen because, like I'm experiencing hair loss that just started happening within the last weeks, right? But she told me that it can be up to 3 months prior. She was like, have you gone through anything in the last 3 months? And I'm like thinking back, I was just like, well, the one I feel like traumatic type of like stressful event was back December, January, when I was kind of going through the thick of what I was going through with my burnout stage, with my last job. And that's when I told her, I was like, that's probably like the biggest event that I've gone through that I can think of, super stressful. And then she says to me, yeah, well, between that and also I've always had low vitamin D levels. She said, and with this winter, which was a brutal winter, my vitamin D levels have possibly gone really low, like lower than usual. And so she wanted me to get lab work to see what my vitamin D levels were and B12. So we are waiting on the blood work to see what that shows. But automatically, she had told me, she was just like, you should be taking supplements for your vitamin D levels. I think she said 1,000 something. I've always been told that by my doctor, like my vitamin D levels have always been low, but I never take the supplements. So if that's the case, I need to start getting better at taking supplements like that. I take my multivitamin, and I told her I started to do again the Orgain collagen. It's just that I'm not as consistent. So I've been on and off with that, but I need to be consistent. But she definitely wanted to check my levels first before telling me exactly what I needed. So that's where we are right now. I just thought that it was interesting that she told me like sometimes the 3 months, right? What happened 3 months ago is like triggering our hair loss now. And, I'm saying that all to say, like, if you guys have experienced hair loss, think maybe back to 3 to 4 months and see if there's anything triggering that could have happened, or if you might also be experiencing like low vitamin D levels. Are you, in a place that is cold and all of these things that affect our bodies that we don't even realize, or I never bothered to really look into it, but I thought that everything she said was very insightful. So we will see where we are. Maybe next week I can speak more about my results and see what course of action I'm taking. I just wanted to share that with you real quick. Another thing that she mentioned before I forget is when I had asked her what things can I do, she was just telling me, well, aside from the supplements, she said, do scalp stimulation. She said, do the, scalp rubbing, every single day. So doing this and making sure I'm like getting flow to the, to my scalp. So I definitely have one of those little like silicone brushes that have spikes. So every time I do wash my hair, I, do something like that. I might buy something additional so that I can get that scalp stimulation as well. I've been tempted. I've been tempted to get the cap that has that red light therapy, because red light therapy does so much. If you guys have seen my mask, I put it on my face. Red light therapy is so good for so many things. So also something that I might consider. I'm not sure yet. Those things are pricey. But those are different things. I take hair loss really seriously, and I want to be able to maintain it as long as I can. And I just, those are things that I don't mind spending money on, because I cherish my hair and I cherish my crown, guys. And I know a lot of you do as well. Let me get back into the video. I just wanted to share that with you real quick. Guys, I'm going to end here because I know I've said a lot, but also I am trying to put together this haul video before I leave, and I'm waiting on the items to get here. I waited too long to order my stuff. Too long. And there's a possibility that the stuff that I ordered might not get here on time, but I ordered from different places. So we will see. I'm trying to get that in before I leave on my trip, or maybe when I'm on my trip, I will edit it and share it. I did take out some of my old clothes from the attic that were not fitting me, and I started trying on some pieces. And we're going to end on a high note because those pieces fit me again. And I was just like, oh, I was like, look at me fitting into my, this is not it. I was like, look at me fitting into my old clothes. I am trying things on and they looked nice. Like they didn't look like it was squeezing the dear life out of me. So I'm happy for that. So that also will be going, a few pieces will be going on the trip as well. Anyway, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate your encouragement and I appreciate the love. I am giving you guys big hugs and I am praying that God blesses you in new and amazing ways each and every single day. Take care.